Oh, hey, hello again. Hello again. I took a rest like 30 minutes and like have a quick check on the first video and lower the volume of the music a bit, and I'm ready to start again. I believe we've missed a really important question, and is the first one that they ever make. And I believe it is not here in the list. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so me, let me set the YouTube page in here and let's get started. It's okay, 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 okay. I believe we need to add some important questions here. Uh, Please introduce yourself, yourself as a developer, as a as an Android developer. Okay. Yes, this one is good. Tell me about a project that you enjoyed. This is a legit question, okay? You enjoyed the most. And tell me about a difficulty that that you had and how did you solve it? Okay, solve it. Please forgive me if my English is not the best, but I do what I can, okay? So this one is really important. Uh, this one this question is the one that you need to oh sorry. This one question is the one that you need to like give a clear explanation of your background and define and present yourself. If you like start failing in this one, the recruiter or the interviewer will be like, "Oh, this guy cannot speak English. He cannot defend himself, so he's going to fail every other task because he needs to communicate effectively here in this company." So let's get to it because we don't have many time we don't have time to waste. I don't have time to waste. I have my interviews tomorrow by 9 a.m. So here in Colombia it's 3:40 p.m. So here's the question. Please introduce yourself as an Android developer. Well, my background spans first of all, I'm Colombian. I was born in Santa Marta, Magdalena. So my background is not specific only to Android development, but instead I'm a physicist. I have a master's degree in geophysics and a PhD in physics. Uh, all of them were made working on computational physics. I have worked on or charge accelerators simulations that I coded by myself during my bachelor studies. Um, there, I used C++ to make my code from the ground up, and I coded all the simulations, all the calculations, the data processing using only C++. Uh, During my master, I I was working on seismic data processing, which I perform in Python. I use mainly Python using the NumPy libraries, using SciPy, Matplotlib to show data, pandas, many libraries to process the data and model it, implement the mathematical models. During my PhD, I was working on computational simulation of quantum mechanical solid state systems. There I use Python mainly and many open source codes like for solid state calculations using first principles in physics. But by the end of my by the end of my time as a PhD student, I got this opportunity to got into another job. I was looking for a programming job. I was trying to got into web development because I wasn't like certain on was what was the my main goal as a programmer, but I got like a couple of interviews on the side of the web development. They wanted someone uh, they wanted someone able to code in Django using Python to backend uh, and React, but that wasn't a good. I didn't perform well, so I got rejected. Uh, I believe I failed in this question already. I believe I failed because they asked me introduce yourself as an Android developer. I should have like say I'm a physicist, I have a master, I have a PhD, but I have fashion, I have development fashion for development. So uh, after okay, we're going to start again. Okay, again. Introduce yourself as a Python. Oh my God. Introduce yourself as an Android developer. Okay. I am I am Colombian. I was born in Santa Marta, Magdalena. I am my background spans over many things. I'm a physicist. I'm a master degree. What? What's happening to me? Okay, okay. I'm Colombian. I was born in Santa Marta, Magdalena. I'm a physicist. I have a master degree in geophysics and a PhD in physics. All of them were all of those studies were made around programming, simulations, or mathematical models to solve physical problems. And by the end of my PhD, I was certain that I wanted to try the software development area, and I presented like two or three interviews for web development, and I got rejected. I wasn't ready, of course. Uh, I had never had my first contact with real software development until that point. But uh, after that, I got an interview for a Android development job here for a company in Colombia, in Bogota, and I was able to convince them that I could do a software engineering job in Kotlin for Android, and I got accepted. I was in my trial period with them for 2 months, and and they agree with me that I was ready to production environment after that time, and I've been working with them since that time. Uh, I've learned a lot. My academic formation has provided me with tools to learn by myself to taught me, and I've been since always studying Android architecture, good practices, the solid principles, the Kotlin language, the Java language, even some I've come to understand that I I can use C and C++ in Android because of the native SDK, the native development kit, and yeah, I've been working Android for the past 3 years, and I felt very comfortable programming Android and making applications, and I want to keep doing it for long time. I believe the screen is like you. Do you see the bubble with the thumb up? Can you see it? What if I do this? No, you can understand. I see. I see. Maybe this one. Hey, that's very nice. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, okay. Let's get serious again. I have to work on the part of the on the introduce yourself part. Let's get to the next question because time is not uh, infinite. Tell me about a project you enjoyed the most. Okay, a project I enjoyed the most. I've working mainly in the banking side of Android applications. Uh, I've worked on financial applications, for transfer of funds, for withdrawals, product payments, commercial applications, and my favorite work so far in that area lies on an application that uses the electronic funds transfer protocol. There we had to implement an application able to construct and communicate using the TEF protocol, the TEF2, and that application not only had to be able to send message to the service and receive message and understand and all the movement involved on a financial transaction, but it needed also to be able to communicate with an older financial application that existed by that time the company. So there I understood how can you like implement communication between two Android applications via intents. Uh, that was amazing for me because I didn't know you could do that until that time, and I learned a lot about that. Uh, we expose some methods from the older applications to the new one, and through intents we communicate with that, and then we send many messages. I was in charge of encoding of implementing the TEF encoding protocols, the messaging interface, basically, and most of the architecture. In that project, I was I was like a lead. Although I had a lead. He allowed me to have control over that project, and I learned a lot. I made my researches. I I made my research. I took my decisions, and then I communicate to him, and he was almost all the time. He agreed with me. He told me I was correct. That was the best decision. Good. That was a good one. Okay, continue. What decisions are going you to make about the presentation patterns, about the architecture? What are you going to use to data persistence? Many decisions. Most of the decisions I was in control. So that project I really loved because of that. That was good. I believe that was good. I must to say in the introduce yourself, I must to remark that most of my Android experience is around banking applications. Tell me about a difficulty that you have had and how did you solve it? Okay, difficulties. 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 The most difficult part for me when developing applications is when clients don't do not know what they want. Clients say they want this thing or this other thing, and in reality, when you are a good developer and you know whatever they are wanting is not good for them, you can advise. You can tell them, why don't we use this approach or that one. You can use the application this way, it will be more comfortable for the user, and they accept. I believe I got lost a bit in there. The most difficult part of an Android of a development, the most difficult parts when developing an Android application is to understand the needs of the client. Okay, so many clients like send you a functional document, a definition of the behavior of the application, but it is really vague. Okay, it is, you don't understand what they want. So to solve that, I have many approaches. Like one of them is to communicate directly with the client, which I have done a couple of times. Uh, at my companies, developers do not get in touch with the clients directly, but there are two clients in specific that needs to speak with developers, and I have had the opportunity, the chance to speak with them and to clarify all the needs and maybe give some advice to them so they pick the right decision on their application. Maybe they made some modifications to the final product and love the application even more than was expected in the beginning. So yeah, I believe in getting in touch with the client. Not all the time, because clients can become a problem sometimes. Uh, but yeah, I believe in human touch, in getting contact. Okay, that was not that bad. I believe we have time for one or two more? Oh, this one is good. Have you ever heard of AIDL? What AIDL? What is AIDL and when should we use it? Okay, that was the thing I was talking about a while. AIDL stands for Android Interface Description Language. Android Interface Description Language. And it's the way in Android that you use when you want two applications to communicate. You can expose some methods of an application and define what such methods should receive and what should return, and then you can call the methods from the new application. You can call those methods from the new applications and receive response without coding twice the same methods in one application and the other. Uh, it is uh, it can be a clear example is what I was talking about a while. Uh, the new banking application needs communicates with the service, but sometimes it needs to communicate with the old banking applications for because it can perform certain actions that the other ones cannot and pass the information, and this one communicates with the system again, with the service again. Okay, that was good, I guess. Okay, what is the difference between ANR and crashing in Android? Okay, ANR. I feel like we are like advancing faster this time because we are not checking the chat GPT, but those questions do not need to check on ChatGPT, I guess. What's the difference between ANR and crashing in Android? Uh, I've noticed that I'm not sharing my screen with you, but it's okay. You're getting the questions, okay? I'm gonna like put something here so you can look at it. Okay, ANR stands for Android Application Non-Responsive. Application non-responsive stands for is what is occurs when an application is overloaded. The main thread, for example, is saturated, and the application you can touch, you can try anything, and the application do not do anything. So the user needs to manually close that application, needs to kill it. While crashing is another thing in which where the difference with crashing is that when application crashes, it Android system closes automatically. So maybe or sometimes ANR is an state uh, is an state preceding crashing in Android. When would you call get application context? Oh my God, this one is hard. Well, sometimes you need the context of the application, like to store in a shared preference, like to launch a services need a context to attach, but let's use ChatGPT. I believe is, let's see. It returns the context that is tied to life cycle of the entire app, not on a specific activity. This was clear. When you should call application context, use it when you need long life context and don't need to access UI elements. Ah, okay. Long life context. When you need that context, because it's the application context, it lives all through all the application while the application is executing. Creating singleton, common scenario, creating singleton or manager that needs context, initializing a library like Room, Glide, or Retrofit, okay. So for REST consumption, for this one I believe is for image rendering, Room for database. That's good. That's good. It's good to know. Uh, it's like automatic because you make your application class, which stands from application, and you always initialize a context there, and you pass this context to the database builder. But you like don't even think about it when somebody asks you, you like when you need application context. It's okay. It's when you need a long life context that do not need a UI access to UI elements. Starting services. Start a service from a background thread or a broadcast receiver, accessing system services, getting connectivity manager, alarm manager, uh, connectivity service. When you want to get the connectivity manager, when you want to get the connectivity manager, the alarm manager, so you use this context, the application context, get system service, and you ask for the desired service. In broadcast receiver or view model, this don't have access to activity context directly. Avoid Avoiding memory leaks. Use application context in singletons instead of holding activity or fragment reference. Okay. Not use it. Not Do not use it to inflate views or accessing UI resources. Okay. Layout inflator or application context. It's not good to inflate layouts. When launching an activity, start activity with application context. No, you cannot use it to launch an activity. Okay. Okay. To show in toast. Do not use it to show toast. That one I didn't know. Okay, that's good. That's good. So this is the answer. Use it when need a long life context that and don't need access to UI elements. Okay, very nice. So you can call get application context when you need a long life context and you don't need access to UI elements. So for example, when you want to launch a service or when you want to get a service manager like alarm manager, uh, that's another one. To initialize the database or the REST consumption service. Okay. Have you ever heard about Android NDK and when do we use it? This one is easy. Let me see. We have some time. Okay, we have time for the last one. Android NDK stands for Native Development Kit, and it allows to execute C or C++ code. It is native because Android runs on a Linux OS, and you use it basically when you want to make something very custom, or when you went to execute a computationally costly task. So C and C++ are almost anytime, almost always faster than Kotlin and Java. And then you can, for example, for mathematical calculations, you can like import some, like add some C and C++ libraries, which then are compiled into .so libraries and use it directly inside your Android application. Okay, I think we are good for now. I'm gonna have another session of resting. My voice is like starting to fall apart. Uh, well, this is this this has been a nice whatever it is. So thank you for watching, and please let me in the comments if you have any or whatever you want to say. Okay. See you in the next. I hope to be able to upload some more fun videos than asking and answering interview questions. See you next. Bye bye.